Jason, and what was it like working with Ken Kirzinger?
Well, you know, Ken's 6'7". Ken's a big boy, and for all of you, we're talking about the guy that played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. And what you need to know about Ken in terms of respect is, I think Ken's been in every movie shot in Canada since X-Files. So every X-Men, every Avengers, everything. Ken came in for an interview as the stunt coordinator on Freddy vs. Jason. And our Hong Kong director, Ronnie Yu, Bride of Chucky, I like it. Ronnie Yu had seen an anime comic of Jason, of Friday the 13th, where Jason was illustrated, drawn very big, really big. So Ronnie had this sort of mind's eye concept of Mutt and Jeff, of a really big Jason and a little pit bull Freddy. So when Ken, who's 6'7", and walks like John Wayne, walked into the office to apply for the job as stunt coordinator up in Vancouver, Canada, Ronnie looked up at him and just said, "You're my Jason." Well, the good news for me was now, whenever I had any fight scenes with him, I was working with a stuntman, and he would not let me get hurt. But here's the capper. Here's the funny story. We're doing one of the fire sequences, and you know they do them with mostly it's flame bars on the ground, and the lenses do all the work and make it look like we're in the middle of fire. And then there's always a couple of small fires. But you have to understand, both Ken and I are covered with makeup, so our peripheral vision sucks. And we're really hot to begin with, and now we're working in a room on fire. So I, as a courtesy, Ken, because I had more makeup than Ken let me do my side of the scene first. The camera's looking at me. So I get done with my side. Now I can take my sweater off. So I've just got the makeup on, and I'm just standing there with my shirt off and in a pair of slacks, and I'm behind the camera, and I'm there doing my lines for Ken. So Ken's against the wall, and he's relaxing into his part. He's the professional stuntman, stunt coordinator, and an actor. And we've been in this room now for 6 hours, no lunch, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and now it's Ken's turn to do his dot. He doesn't talk, Jason doesn't talk, so he's got to take his time and pull out the machete, and he pivots and he looks at me really cool, and he starts his big John Wayne walk at me real slow, and I'm looking at him, and I'm doing my dialogue so he can time it out and milk it for all it's worth, and I look, and all of a sudden the top of his head starts to smoke. And then his left shoulder, and then his right shoulder. Well, I don't want to call cut and ruin the take, so I'm going in between my dialogue. You're on fire, you know. And he's loving it. It's the camera, it's his close-up. That big dog's taking his time. Finally, somebody just ran in, you know, with a fire extinguisher and hit him. About 30 seconds later, the entire back wall behind him spontaneously combusted. What had happened was the fire from the flame bar against that back wall had gone underneath, and the back wasn't coated with fire retardant. So, you know, that was pretty hairy. And then one day we've been working, you know, we had to work at that damn Crystal Lake. And you know, in Canada, September 15th in Canada, you can walk around with sunscreen on in your bikini. September 16th, this curtain comes down and it's fall. And it's like, you know, there's frost. It gets that cold that quick. But we're in the water. So after every take, Ken and me and the lovely Monica Keena and a Navy SEAL, we all jump in a hot tub to get warm. Well, actually, I've got a little baby wetsuit on underneath my sweater. Ken didn't. Monica, you know, she's just got a push-up bra, and that's about it in that scene. So we just all jump in the hot tub after every scene. Well, we shot. 2 or 3 days later, I get called in at the ungodly hour, you know, like 3 in the morning or something, to put my makeup on for an 8 o'clock start. All week, we've been setting the lake on fire, Crystal Lake. And that the stuff we're using has accumulated on the surface of the lake. Please, Don't tell the Canadian National Forest Department this. And it's pooled like oil, like an oil slick, underneath the fake pier that we used on Crystal Lake, the campground pier for Camp Crystal Lake. And I'm sitting in my chair getting my makeup put on. Ken's next to me getting his makeup put on, and we hear kaboom! The whole trailer shakes back and forth that we're in. We open the doors, and there's a mushroom cloud over the lake. A teamster had gone down on the pier and smoked a cigarette and pitched it into the lake, and the lake exploded from 2 weeks worth of fire stunts. This guy came back, he didn't have any eyebrows. So it was a little more hairy than I knew at the time, but thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, you tell me this is about like eating the hard part.
She's being sued for those knees. All right, it's a class action